putting together all of the stuff for wastewater, and I do need a show of hands, who read all 900 pages of it?
Not it.
Okay, who put it into ChatGPT and had chat summarize
No.
Who's just scanning through it now?
it? I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, I just,
Is
that next time out there.
executive summary? Yeah.
okay, we got some.
Is a lot of this similar to what we saw in their presentation?
Yes, this is the culmination, so you've had several work sessions, several presentations on this plan. And the facilities master plan, financing issues, SDCs, everything that goes in that. In order to make this work, we have to adopt it by resolution to say, this is the adopted wastewater master plan. This, by adopting this opens doors for the city to be able to go out and work with our financing people, work on the GO bond, the council is directing me to work on. This is all what has to be there, so we can say this is the official document that we are working from, and this is the plan that we are working from. This also allows us to do some things on the east side of town, where we can officially put some brakes on development there and have rules and standards that go into that. So this is just the whole culmination of that. This is the final report, and staff recommends that it be adopted by resolution.
Anybody have any questions? Or want to make a motion?
I move we approve and adopt resolution number R 2026-13. For the wastewater facilities fund.
Sorry.
Alright, move inside of it, discussion.
Really quick, will this also open up a few more doors for potential grants?
Yes. Yeah, this is all encompassing.
Question.
Questions called, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes by the council seated. Next, the request follow-up for discussion with Tura work session.
It's exactly that. As we mentioned in the work session, I'm looking for guidance to see if you want me to begin to negotiate a new IGA, the new parking lease. And is there any comments from the council that didn't get made in that work session that need to be made? And do you want to direct me, and is it just me? Do you want to have a specific member of the council join me on that committee? I'm looking for what you want and need.
But
So I have a question. As someone who's unfortunately not able to be here for the work session. I understand things with the expiration of the IGA, but in terms of parking, what was that you?
So the parking, the Tura lots that is right by some of your properties, your family's properties, that our lease to that expired in December 31, 2024. And so it's just renewing that so that we technically legally have permission to use it for city parking purposes.
Got it.
So
And these are two separate.
two separate documents, yeah.
I mean, so you're just looking for feedback at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that idea is super important and, you know, I think that's yours to negotiate in the best interest of the city.
Okay.
I think that the parking thing for me, just, you know, we all have passion over the parking. Is, you know, extremely important, and hopefully with the parameters even in the last lease that there's not a ton of drag modifications to that, it's just working out the details as we move forward. But being able to get that agreement in place for the parking lot in a timely manner before doing anything else across the whole thing is really important, I think, to the communication and messaging of reforming parking downtown. If we do it on parking lots without that one, it's gonna be chaos. So I just think that's really important. I just like to, I guess, kind of to my questions that I had towards the end, I would love to see the city, I don't, you talk about attending there. You know, I think of all the projects that even I've worked on with the city or Adam's been writing grants for, or I've talked with Sean about. In regards to like priorities of what the city is right now, and those priorities were not at the table. To where. I think that, yeah, they've been at the table, like sidewalks might have been prioritized a little bit longer. I mean, I get that these sidewalks are on the plan. I personally still don't like the project. I think there's a lot of other opportunities. I look at goal 4 for Turner. I think of the park bathrooms, both parks within the urban rules. Town center or within the urban rural district. Have, you know, have working restroom facilities. How we miss, you know, like that should be a priority. It is a priority. It's going on before. Repair, improve, and construct new public facilities. Goal number 3, create pedestrian spaces that are attractive to residents and employees, stimulate activity, enhance the downtown. Beals Alley has been on fire, it was on fire for a long time. It's speaking overlooked again, so I understand that tourism an autonomous organization. I appreciate when organizations have autonomy. But at the same time, I do think that it would be great that we could be at the table for the city to bring those projects that we've all had priorities for. Where I was sitting here, or you were sitting there, somebody sitting here. Where they, and they've been overlooked, and I think the tour is an extremely valuable asset to build the public and the private sector. Of the city, so, I would just like to see us have, I guess, a more. Forward approach on bringing the priorities, for these public infrastructure things to Tura. So that they don't be over. That is how I believe it, kind of thought, Cheryl David, you know, she mentioned earlier, like the relationship was a lot closer. With the city manager was always there. And there was this constant, like, here we have this need at the city that meets the goals of Tura, and then there's this kind of symbiotic relationship that's a lot closer, so. I would just love to see that.
On that though, I was on Tura when previous city manager was always, always there running the meetings a lot of times. I just want to make sure that we're very clear that we need to maintain the autonomy. And that, seeing it where previous manager, I use that as dipping account, maybe a little bit too much at times, so. I just want to make sure that we're careful to keep that autonomy.
I think it's a good idea if the city manager to be there, like he suggested, and like he kind of committed to. I think the board made it pretty clear that they were happy with that. I would like to ask do you feel like the agreement with their executive assistant and how that all works and the structure of the city, is that good for the city? Do you feel like it's okay?
I think it's good because Tura can't provide the economies of scale on insurance and stuff that are required, the bonding and stuff like that. So it's good for us to have that. I also think it's good for the city to have that in-house because supervision and they're using our equipment, they're using our copy machines. So having that under the city auspices just helps us a little bit with budgeting and employee allocation. I think there's some, again, cleaning up of the disparate language that needs to happen, but I think that it's fair enough. If they were to have a separate person that was not a city employee, I think it would be much more difficult for us to.
And you don't see the city trying to ask for a sincerely larger fee or something from Tura for what they begin now.
It's all what Jamie wants to ask for.
Right.
I'm gonna throw her under that bus, so, you know, I think most of the stats quo just crossing T's and dotting I's. I don't anticipate huge
I think it's
substantive
been good. I
changes.
mean, Tura used an outside accounting firm and that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have any interest in trying to do that again. So
Yeah.
I was just curious what you guys thought. All right. So I got.
But a moderate increase, just because that's a 5-year-old contract and costs have gone up. I don't think a moderate increase is out of the question, but I don't think we're gonna like double.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So consensus good enough for that?
I think consensus is good. If you guys are gonna be going forward negotiating and working on that, we will get it done as quickly as possible. I don't think it's gonna be a huge issue.
Sure, haven't heard anything against. Good, sounds good. Alright. Moving on, to reports. So all I have to say is good job for all the seniors that graduated. It was a great graduation. It was cold and windy. but it never rained. It got a couple little drops and it stopped, so that was an amazing night. Huge shout out to, I know I'm gonna miss a bunch of businesses that did a lot in the community forum. But I know my daughter went to the Elks for a singing breakfast. And then the cheese factory did a special event, shut down, for an evening and did pizza, mac and cheese, pizza, salads, and all the ice cream that you could eat, and it was for families and everything, so it was, yeah, it was a good time, so.
That's for all three reasons.
Yeah, that was for all, yeah, it was packed, yeah, they shut it down, so it was a good time, so it shows communities.
They called it a celebration.
That's what it was, I couldn't
I
remember.
think they've done it about 3 years.
Celebration.
I think it's 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's family and, yeah.
Family and everything, they had.
All you can eat ice cream, all you can eat
Everybody
pizza.
They were pumping out those pizzas like you would not believe.
It's pretty much, yeah, buffet and all the ice cream and everything.
And I'll tell you, the one thing, they have so many different types of pop, there's soda in there, the carbureted, the cucumber. It was not mine.
Right, they got some fancy stuff.
But we tried it and that was, yeah, it was interesting. Well, yeah, they're all sodas, it was a good time. Alright, go ahead.
Okay, I've just got a couple of 3 things updates. I want to thank Councilmember Oppenheimer. We had a really good discussion the other day about parking. I think we've got a good consensus on where to go with it and how to move forward. We're beginning to implement some of that stuff. We will bring those changes back to the full council once we're ready to implement, but I think we're on the same page. Councilmember, do you agree? And it was really productive to do that. Just a couple of updates on things. Our polymorphic AI application processes. I just got word today that we've got the money portion where people can pay online squared away. And so we hope to have a lot of those applications online and live and active this week or next week. So it's just a matter of getting them up on the website and getting through. It's very intuitive, it's very simple. You don't have to make a new account to do anything, but it'll allow us for some things like our special permits, planning permits, all those things, we're getting them up. You won't see every application, we're kind of doing them in batches, but we've got 9 or 10 of them that are just about ready for prime time. So you'll see those in the next couple of weeks. So that's a win for us. We've also got a win on, it's taken me a long time and I'm sorry for this. We finally got a win on our door security for the city hall, where we figured out how to get the fobs and everything to work so people can scan their cards in and get a full audit trail of that. This week or next week, we'll be issuing new ID cards to all of our staff. And the request will be that all staff has their ID card at least around their person, you know, much like many places do. But it will allow us to have a little bit more access control to City Hall, and all of our facilities actually have the secure door link. So that's a big thing where we can monitor that and keep that going. So that's an awesome thing. I do want to just mention, Mayor, per our phone call today, there's been some question in the community about the baseball send off today. We wish the baseball team well in their semifinal game tomorrow at 3 o'clock, right?
Good fun.
This is the farthest that baseball's gone, or any sport in Tillamook's gone in a long time, from what I understand. Baseball. And so, anyway, the police and fire, sheriffs and everything had that send off today that went from the high school around town. There was a question, why didn't the seniors have a graduation parade? The simple answer is nobody asked. The city was not approached by anybody at the high school to have a seniors parade. A seniors parade can happen. There's a little bit different logistics between what happened this morning, which was a 30-second drive-by with a police escort, versus a parade where we're on ODOT roads that have to shut down, and for 150 or 100 vehicles going through. That's a little bit bigger logistically. There's insurance requirements, there's different things like that cost some money. But the fact of the matter is, nobody at the school contacted the city via application or phone call to request a parade.
Okay. You're right.
Well, I would just go from the safe side of it, is the school, I think it was kind of ugly last time a little bit. I think they felt maybe they were hurt a little bit in the way that it was just kind of shut down real hard. I mean, I would think the community, I got lots of messages on that when it happened. I got message from high school kids that graduated, why didn't they have their parade this year, but they had that parade today, I got that today. I think it's important that we have a conversation about this. I think the community really, really likes it, really, really wants it. I think we need to make it happen. And I think the school, when the safe brought it up, the principal just said, no, we're not going through the headache of it. And it was kind of made it to be a headache. And I disagreed. I think this council disagreed with the idea of not doing it anymore. So I just think we need to put on the, agenda down the road to have a conversation, and we need to do it because it's good. The community wants it. It's not a huge thing, but it's a huge thing. And I just think it's a big thing that we should do. And I was gonna say something about it anyway, so I appreciate that you had said it. Nobody reached out, but I think they were kind of hurt a little bit last time. I think it's fair to say.
Some more history on that, with the expenses, is the school district just doesn't have the money to pay for all the flagging that would be necessary. And so, starting last year, the year before, when they cut it off, they changed and they decided to put some funds towards a barbecue just for the seniors instead of doing it towards the parade. And this year, well, the parents may want to teach those kids. Not a single one of them said a peep about it.
I don't know.
I don't think that they missed it as much as people think of.
Mine do,
Yeah.
I know so much of them that I talked to, but that, there's a lot.
I would like to have a conversation regarding, not necessarily just that one, but how we handle parades and processionals. I was in that conversation, they didn't get asked for this year. Because last year, when I said, do you want to run this up? I mean, this is a hill diet, and it was basically, I don't want the trouble, so we're just gonna move on. I do think the kids like barbecue, I think, so whether they want to do it or not, but I think what it did show is a fundamental flaw in the fact that we treat different. What would be processionals differently based on our code. Our code calls a processional essentially for funerals and celebrations like home. But a parade is also a lot different than cars driving through, they're required to obey the traffic law. And so flagging is different. I mean, there's a lot of requirements, and I think it is a bigger conversation. But going back to that conversation, it was not a positive, it was not a good feeling conversation about the way things were being interpreted. So we did have that conversation.
Yeah, to be fair, I was not here. For
No,
that
that's not
conversation last
good either.
year.
I'm just giving you some context.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Conversation because
But
things are not being treated equally.
yeah, and if the school wants to contact us and say this is something we wanna do, we will move heaven and earth to make it happen and make it happen for
I
them.
think from the city's standpoint, I think we need to have that conversation. Prior to one person, because there could be others. And I think that we need to get our interpretations correct before people ask. Because the reason the application, like I said, was because last year's or the year before was not good. So.
Yeah, and we can have those conversations. I just wanted to clarify that it was because the city said no this year. No, we couldn't say no because we were never asked.
Right, that's fair. But there is a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I've asked Chelsea to pull up our elections page. June 3rd, that is the day after tomorrow, opens our candidacy filing period for those who want to run for office. That runs through July 30th, if I have my dates correct. The seats that are up this year are the even number seats, so that's 2, 4, and 6, plus an unexpired term for Ward 5 for 2 years and our mayor's seat. Chelsea and I have spent some time putting together a wonderful candidacy guide. I'm looking that up for you. Picture link that is available here. This candidate manual, I guess is what we've called it. Step by step, how to run for office in the city of Tillamook. It has just about everything you should need to figure out how to file your forms, how to get your signatures, who to turn it into, how to do finance reporting, where to place your signs, anything that we could think of to put in this that is Tillamook specific is in this guide. So just want to put it out there that we are prepared for candidates to start filing as of Wednesday morning. Those filing periods are just during business hours, 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. But we ask for most instances if you could schedule an appointment.
I think it's on here from 8:30 to 3:30.
8:30 to 3:30, just so we have some time and buffer on either side, but yeah. Business hours, 8:30 to 3:30, come in and get your guide, but everything is online, we try to digitize as much as we can, every form's available online. We try to make it very, very easy for folks to run problems,
Yeah.
so, there you go, that's my report.
Alright. Council comments.
The only thing I was gonna, it just crossed my mind earlier, I haven't seen any progress or any update, anything on the park area that Dennis Health was gonna work on putting in over the corner there. Thought maybe we could try to get an update or.
I can give you an update on
Okay.
that.
Sure.
Adventist Health, Ms. Yank that was in charge of that,
Sure.
was no longer employed by Adventist Health, so we no longer have that person that was kind of the driving force.
I feel like, wasn't it Hay that gave us a presentation, John Hay, anyway, that did it,
I don't know, I only worked with Ms. Yank.
right, okay.
It was for, I have plans out.
Right.
Got lots of it disappear, but.
Yeah.
There's no champion as this.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Nothing for me today.
On a couple things, first, can we get an update on the camping ordinance?
so we gave the last update at our meeting, that's kind of where it's at as we go through the legal review of stuff. We did get some of the legal review back, Friday or today. Just not in time to get it on an agenda, so we'll have it, some of those brought back for you next meeting or two.
Okay, and a while back, PD came to us requesting that we pass an ordinance to help them with panhandling. And that was anybody who was in a car handing stuff out to somebody who's panhandling in a right of way or in a street or something. I don't think I've seen that enforced ever, and it seemed to be a high priority for it at this time.
Where did you bring that up? Because somebody just brought this up to me today.
I've seen a number, like an increase, obviously nicer weather, but an increase in panhandlers at street corners and stop signs, lights. Where, and seeing people hand it out, but it's,
Lincoln City's currently enforcing theirs or something, because they have a very similar ordinance. And it, from what I was told today, it's like, there's no panhandling happening, so I don't know, just telling people, hey, you do transaction like this is a violation, maybe they stop, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, it was brought before us, they said that this would help them with their enforcement. And then I don't see any enforcement.
We do have an ordinance, so that is enforceable.
We do.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay.
When it came before us, it came pretty quickly and they said, this is gonna help us. We asked you to pass it and then I've never heard anything, any follow up or anything on that and.
Okay.
Seen an increase in panhandlers.
We'll look into it.
I can speak from my own personal experience, one, just in talking to, police officers, that if you see someone panhandling, calling and letting them know is really helpful. And then, I mean, in my personal experience, I live right by the Safeway, which is a hot spot for people panhandling, and I'll often call and then I'll drive back, an hour later, and they're normally gone. I don't know if that means, that police officer came and talked and asked to leave, or if that was just a coincidence, but I've seen a lot of that happen, so.
Well, the ordinance isn't designed to make panhandling. Yes, handing something from a car, out of a car to the panhandle. So it puts the onus is on.
It's transactions in the right of way.
Right. I think the biggest issue is in order to enforce on it, we have to have somebody that sees that act happening.
Stop long enough, they would see it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is that. I do want to give a huge thank you to the police department and public works. Who were busy day on Friday. And the cooperation they gave the school district in a lot of different ways, from the baseball game, the parking. As well as helping with graduation and then the seniors leaving town. they had a ball with that, and then again, baseball this morning. It's a big event, pretty cool. So, and then also a thank you to those businesses who, other businesses stepped up and they helped rent a pretty sweet coach ride for those, Salmon Falls.
It was like,
So, yeah, I've driven to Plymouth Falls 3 times for, playoff games. For soccer, we didn't travel like that.
The yellow buses are.
Yellow buses that I was driving.
You're not the only sport that noticed, they didn't have it like that.
So, hey, got a lot of teams go to state, that's, it's pretty cool, but, yeah, just a huge thank you, the city was awesome, and thank you, really wonderful.
Well, in the spirit of what I had started a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, first of all, we had a tremendous turnout for the Memorial Day ceremony up at Sunset, in light of the fact that we had a deluge going on at the time. It was pretty impressive, but just being somebody that, especially coming up to 250, but always been someone who's been concerned about that we forget what we're about. I found this quote from Roger Sherman, one of our founding fathers, the signer of the Declaration. And this is in light of Memorial Day, even though we're a week past, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it since then. This is his quote. He said, "Sad will be the day when the American people forget their traditions and their history, and they no longer remember the country that they love, or the institutions they cherish, and the freedom they hope to preserve, were born from the throes of armed resistance to tyranny and nursed in the rugged arms of various men." So in just, I don't know, I would hope that, and I'm not telling everybody what to do, everybody has a lot to do, but in light of the fact that we're coming up to 250 years and being a teenager when we had the 200, and never imagining I'd still be around to watch this, there's a need for us to go back and recognize what we have been given, the gift of this place, the United States, and specifically in the little town of Tillamook. I just love living here. I don't know, I didn't like I said, since I'm a preacher, I'm gonna go a little long. Just to, I tell people this often, when Debbie and I moved here in 1999, we committed to stay for 5 years. That was our plan, stay for 5 years at least. So here we are at 27 and counting, and unless it drives you guys crazy, I think we're planning on staying here forever. So that's how much we love this town. A little bit to some of the comments that were made in the previous meeting. I think, at least for me, I speak for us, I think that we love this city, and we want to see things go, and part of that is remembering who we are and not forgetting that we live in an anomaly in America. That American history is so odd compared to the rest of human history, where tyranny kind of rules the roost, and that's how it all goes. And we are the beneficiaries of this amazing thing. It should always be grateful.
No, just say one fun factoid.
I just work here.
If you want to sound smart to your friends, it's a semi-quincentennial.
Okay.
It's half of 200
I
or
think
half of
250
500.
works better for my life.
Right. But you want to sound cool, semi-quincentennial.
I think he's not cool.
Follow that.
Yeah, I'm not calling it.
With that well said, speech by Councilor Crist, I move that we authorize to pay the bills.
Second that one. All right, move and second to pay the bills. Do you please pull council?
Counselor Rossinger.
Aye.
Counselor Bouchard. Aye. Counselor Reynolds.
Aye.
Counselor Sandusky.
Aye.
Counselor Chris.
Aye.
Counselor Osh.
All right, motion passes. And with that,